Hey guys, I'm not in my house. And Buddy's with me because he wants to tell you guys another story. You want to tell him a story about Joseph? Okay, let's do it. Today, we are going to hear a story about Joseph. The story today is a little bit long, so I wanted to make sure that we read the bits of the storybook that will help us understand. And then I also wanted to tell you a little story when I felt a little bit like Joseph felt. All right, let's get to the storybook.
Joseph and his brothers. Jacob lived with his family in a place called Canaan. He had many sons. One of Jacob's younger sons was named Joseph. Jacob spent more time with Joseph than with his other sons. He even had a special coat made for Joseph. It seemed to Joseph's brothers that their father loved Joseph more than he loved them. They felt sad and angry. One night, Joseph had a dream. The next morning, he couldn't wait to tell everyone about it. I dreamed that we were all in the field tying stems of grain together. Suddenly, I couldn't believe my eyes. Your grain made a circle around mine and then bent over. You were bowing down to me. Isn't that exciting? Exclaimed Joseph. Our grain did what? They laughed. Why do you think we would bow down to you like you were some kind of king? The brothers said angrily. Joseph hung his head and walked away slowly and sadly. The next night, Joseph had another dream. He excitedly told everyone about it in the morning. I had an even better dream last night. I looked up into the sky and there I was. I saw the sun, the moon, and 11 stars bow down to me. Isn't that amazing? He said. This time his father was listening. Jacob was angry with Joseph and said, Why do you think your mother and I would stand next to your brothers and bow down to you as if you were a king? I don't like the strange dreams you're having. They will never come true. Now his brothers and his father were really mad at him. Lucky for Joseph, Jacob decided to send his brothers off with the sheep for a while. Later, Jacob sent Joseph to find out how Joseph's brothers were doing with the sheep. As he was getting near them, his brothers saw him coming. Here comes our dreaming brother. Let's get rid of him, they planned. They grabbed Joseph and threw him into a pit. Ouch! The rocks at the bottom of the pit were hard and sharp. God, why are they doing this to me? Prayed Joseph. A group of traders walked by on their way to Egypt. The brothers thought they'd get rid of Joseph once and for all. They sold Joseph to the traders and watched as he was taken away. Several years later, Joseph helps his family. God always watched over Joseph. God spoke to Joseph in dreams, and Joseph used this knowledge to plan ahead. When the famine came, people from all over came to find food for their families because they heard that Joseph had saved up for 7 years. Even Joseph's brothers traveled to Egypt to find food. But it had been such a long time since they'd seen each other, the brothers didn't recognize Joseph. Joseph kept the secret of who he was from his brothers for a while. But soon he couldn't wait any longer. Joseph finally told them who he was. I am your brother Joseph, who you sold to the Egyptian traders. But don't feel bad anymore. God sent me ahead of you so that I could save people, including you. This famine is going to last for many years, so hurry back to our father and tell him that I am safe. I want you to bring your families and your children and all your sheep and goats to live near me. Once Joseph's brothers saw who he was, they all hugged each other and cried. They jumped up and down with relief and joy. Joseph and his brothers talked and talked. The brothers talked from the time the sun came up to the time the sun went down. When the Pharaoh heard that Joseph's brothers had come, he told Joseph, Tell them to go get everyone in their family. I will give them the best land in Egypt to call their own. Joseph gave his brothers wagons, food, and new clothes, and they went back to their father and told him the good news. Joseph is still alive. He is the ruler of all of Egypt. Everyone danced when they heard the news. This is all I could ask for, Joseph's father said. Now I will see my son again. Let's get moving. Joseph's family all moved to Egypt, but the brothers were worried. What if Joseph's still angry with us? We were awful to him. What can we do? The brothers went to Joseph and said, Here we are. We don't deserve to be your brothers anymore, so we will be your slaves. But Joseph said to them, Don't be silly. I'm your brother, no matter what. Even though you planned for something bad to happen to me, God turned it into something good.
So Buddy and I are here at our camp in the middle of Maine, and we're out in the woods. and it's pretty easy to get lost. But I once had somebody who I trusted a lot, someone that I really thought would always be nice to me, and they told me how to go somewhere when I was here, and they said, "Oh yeah, you can find it easy. Just go that way." So I believed them, and I went.
So I walked and I walked and I walked, and I was just following what this person that I trusted had told me. They just said, keep walking down this road. And luckily for me, I wasn't alone. There was somebody with me. So even when it was very scary and I couldn't see anything and I was lost in the middle of the woods, really nervous about how to get to where I was trying to go, I felt a little bit better, a little bit stronger, because I had Buddy with me. Buddy was going to stay with me no matter what. He wouldn't abandon me. So I felt a little better. Walking with Buddy right beside me, I felt a little bit stronger. I felt like I wasn't alone, and that together we would find our way to where we had wanted to go. And even when other people seemed to let me down, I knew that Buddy wouldn't let me down. I also knew that Buddy wouldn't want me to be worried and scared and angry at the person who told me to go the wrong way. Instead, he'd tell me to be thankful for all the beautiful things all around me, and for the love that that person actually really did have for me, even if maybe they were a little bit upset with me, and that's why they told me the bad directions to get to where I was trying to go. And Buddy and I managed to make it back to the road and back home, and when we got home, I was able to forgive the person who gave me the bad directions, because in the end, we're family, and that's more important. So always follow your little guide dog. They won't abandon you, and they'll always tell you it's best to forgive when you get home.
So thanks to the presence of Buddy being with me the whole time, I was able to feel not quite so afraid, not quite so alone, and I was actually able to find my way to where I was meant to be. And I think maybe I felt a little like Joseph felt. I felt like this person who had told me how to get to where I was trying to go had betrayed me, and I didn't understand why they would do that. I thought we were friends, and they told me the very wrong way to go. But with the help of Buddy and some extra guidance that he was able to give me, I felt safe. I felt like I wasn't by myself, and I made it home. I think Joseph's story tells us that same truth that we have heard in the other stories, which is that God doesn't abandon us. Same way that Buddy wouldn't abandon me. He was always going to be with me and help me get to where I needed to go and make me feel like I wasn't alone. God doesn't abandon Joseph when he gets pushed in a big hole by his brothers, the people who are supposed to love him. And he stays with him and he helps him become successful. And then when his brothers come back and they say something that's really hard to say, which is that they're sorry, Joseph knows that God would want him to say it's okay, to forgive them. Forgiveness is not easy, but if we remember that God is always with us and God is always with everyone, then it becomes a little bit easier to see each other as family no matter what. Even if you're not related to somebody, they're your family because they're part of God's creation with you. So I hope wherever you go, even if somebody might tell you the wrong way, that you always feel like God is with you and guiding you, and you have a little friend there to make you feel not quite so alone. I also hope your little friend is just as cute as Buddy is. Look at his face. See, we are in the natural habitat of the squirrel. So Buddy is on alert. And we're also looking forward to next week, where we get to tell you guys another story. And some squirrels, right? Is that a squirrel? There's definitely a squirrel over there. So we are going to go investigate, and we will see you guys next week. Can you say bye? Bye. I'm going to go look for squirrels. Bye, guys.